Hello, and in this tutorial we're going to work on making the next stage or next step for this model. We're going to work on making a kind of a boot for the base of the model. So it's going to go into top view here, and I'm going to go Shift A and add an empty with an image, and over here I'm going to add this image. And I have on my desktop a picture of the sole of a boot, and we'll rotate that 90 degrees, and we'll work on this now, and we'll just rename this empty up here. Oops, this one here, boot. Okay, so I'm going to scale it down, and we'll work on it kind of from there. I'm just going to move it forward just for convenience. I'm going to go Shift S, and then so what do I want? I want cursor to selection, which I cannot see. So cursor to selected. There we go. And now I'm going to add a plane. And I'm going to scale this down, and in fact the scale is not really important because I'm going to go into edit mode, press W, and then go merge vertices at center, and I'm just going to have one vertex, and I'm going to go G and move that to there. Now before I go any further, I'm just going to remember where that vertex is. I'm going to check the bottom of this model and check how many vertices are on the bottom of this. So I just held down the Alt key and right clicked in between the two verts, and down here in the bottom right corner you can see it says 14. So that's aspirationally what we'll try and get at the top of this boot. So I'm going to go back here and select my plane and go into edit mode. I should really rename this just for now boot. Now I'm going to merge this with the other item in a minute, but we'll worry about it then. So I'm in edit mode, so I'm going to extrude 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just going to move this one back. And we don't really have to keep 14 for here, it's more for the top, but all we're trying to do here is create a kind of matching amount of geometry. So I'm going to select these two here and press F. Now after that I don't really need this empty, this boot, so I was going to turn that off there. So this is my boot, and I'm going to select it all and look from the side. I'm going to press number 1 here. Now I know we're up at the face, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to press so I'll extrude this upwards, and I just press the Z key there to constrain it to a vertical axis, and that's sort of the sole of the boot. Now from top view I'm going to press E to extrude and then escape, so I've sort of extruded it on top of itself, and now I'm going to press S to scale in. Now it's not going to scale evenly, so it's going to scale as you can see more on the y-axis. So I'm going to press S and then Y so that I can move it back this way, just so that the kind of indent, shall we say, or the inset is relatively even around the model. And then from the side I'm going to extrude again on the Z axis, so I pressed E and then Z, and I've moved up a little bit, and then E and Z again. And at this point here what we want is the toe, or the front of this, these 4 here, to move back a little bit. And so these ones here, no, that one, sort of surrounds this ankle area. So if we turn this empty back on again, so we can see these are roughly around the ankle. So I'll probably include the next 2 as well, verts in my selection here. Okay, so I'm going to extrude these upwards, scale them out a little bit, and extrude them upwards once more, scale them out, and then once more and scale them back in. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these two front verts here, and from the side I'm going to extrude up and then back and down a little bit, and then I'm going to go in here and up to here and then out. So this is going to be sort of the tongue of the shoe. I'll take these two and that one, I'm going to move them slightly on the x-axis, and this one as well, so G and X, move them over a little bit. Okay, so now I can, keep in mind this is a very low polygon model, so I'm going to press F. I'm going to place a triangle here. I'm not going to worry too much about triangulation at this point. Okay, and we can see that there's a simple extrusion or selection where I can do that, but I'm not going to do that just yet. So what I want to do is I want to take this here and extrude it out a little bit, and I'm going to go GX and move this slightly across the face of this. I'm going to press S and on Z, so I'm going to scale a little bit on Z, and I'm going to join that to here. And that's going to make it appear as if there is sort of a slight indentation for where the tongue of the boot is. I'm going to do the same here, so I'm going to extrude this out a little bit. Press S on the Z axis, and then join that to here. And with that in mind, I'm going to extrude this to there, and this to there, so I can make a face. Oops, 1, 2, 3, 4, make face. Now I may end up having to move, this back that way, and this back a little bit that way. Now, so now I can join them together, and I can do the same on this side. Now, what have I done wrong or incorrectly here? I have positioned this incorrectly, have I? Yeah. So, oh yeah. So, it's just not. Okay. It's okay. I haven't done a terrible thing. There we go. F, the face there. 1, 2, 3, 4. The face. I'm going to create a triangle here. 1, 2, and 3, and the same here. 1, 2, and 3, and then that will let me go 1, 2, 3, 4, and that one's already filled in over there. So this is roughly the shape. Now I'm going to select everything, so press A, and I'm going to go to Mesh, Normals, Recalculate Outside, so that we had a couple of faces there that were pointing inwards. And I'm probably going to, just because we're going to end up 3D printing this, is going to delete that for now. I'm going to make this selection here and see how many vertices we have. So we've 12. So that's not too bad. Okay. So we need 2 more. So the logical place is to put one there and there. We need to scale these out on the x-axis. So there's a good bit of kind of shaping to be done on this. So let's have a little move around. So I'm going to turn on proportional editing, which is where? Oh, Sorry, I'm distracted by new widgets in this new version of Blender. So proportional editing. Nope. Oops. Okay, hang on. Let me extend this here so I can see what this is it here. There we go. So connected. I'm going to press Z and go to solid mode, and then we'll see. So this, I'm going to go to G, move this in, and G, move that in. And I can probably do the same here. And move that one in a little bit. Not too much. And you can see here I need to get these to come out a little bit for the ankle area. And then I'm going to select that one there, scale it slightly on Y, and okay, and that's fairly basic and a basic shape, and will do for what we're up to. Okay, and we may have to come back and tweak some of these in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to move this into place. So I'm going to go G, place it down here, and move it into the correct position here. Now I'm going to go Object, Smooth Shade, and then this here has, if you remember, it has a subdivision surface modifier on it. So when I join this object to this object, the object that I select last will become sort of the parent. So all of the modifiers that are on this object will then be transferred to this one, so I'll automatically get another shoe. If I were to join them this way, it would actually remove the mirror modifier and remove the subsurface or subdivision surface modifier. So let's just see if we can scale this a little bit on X, so that looks like it's kind of going around the edge. Okay, and then we will join these together. So I'm going to select this, shift and right click and select that, and go Control J, which is join. And hopefully what you can see here is that this is now smoother. It's got a subsurface modifier on it, and also it's mirrored. So I can go into edit mode. I can I can get in and make it look a bit better. Okay, but the most important part of this is we want to join the geometry. So I'm going to have very bottom of this. So I'm going to go G, lift this up a little bit, and rotate it fractionally, and then I'm going to go Shift Alt and select the top of this, and I'm going to go Edge, Bridge Edge Loop, and we'll go to solid mode. So this is now a a single mesh. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this and scale it in just a little bit. I'll say just a little bit, I mean quite a bit, so obviously is not realistic. And then I'm going to go Control OR and add a loop cut here that I can then scale out. And we're basically trying to cheat a bit. Now the subsurface modifier has meant that the yeah, so this isn't as high as it was. So I'm going to put another loop cut here and bring this up a little bit so that this boot is a bit taller. I'm still not winning here. It looks like my leg has a chamfer on it, so we'll go back here. We'll scale this back out just a little bit. Okay, so what we want to avoid is, if this is animated, that this mesh basically will, reveal itself by kind of moving through the boot. Okay, so that's a good 15 minutes. So this is fairly basic and rudimentary. It's not beautiful. We'll be coming back to sculpt all of these. The scale of that's not perfect either, but it will do for now, and we'll come back and add more detail in the next tutorial.